Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, show family. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is your Friday edition of the Good Morning Show. This is your place of faith in the morning. And today is Friday. So we've got the Friday squad is in the house. I want to say good morning to you. I hope that you are enjoying your Friday morning so far. Do you have your coffee, your tea, whatever makes you happy? And grab a friend, tune in. Actually, tag a friend. If you tag a friend on the broadcast, let them know we're here this morning. This is the Good Morning Show, your place of faith in the morning. I'm Candy Bryan. I'm so excited to be here with a few of my friends, the Friday Squad, and we're going to all start our watch parties. So that's what we're doing now. And just let people know that we're here. Good morning. Good morning. Really important. If you are tuning in this morning and you cannot see your comments, it's only because you need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Again, StreamYard.com/Facebook. And you will then see your comments live on the air. So I want to make sure that everyone does that. I always get these comments after the show. Candy, you didn't see my comment? Because I love posting the comments. So you know I'm going to post your comment, especially if it's a good one. I'm going to post your comment. And when you don't see it, it's not because I didn't like the comment. It's because you didn't go to StreamYard.com. So go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and you will be able to see your comments. And you guys know what day it is. It is Friday. We want to say good morning to you. So put a good morning in the comments section. And say good morning to the Friday Squad. Woo!
Friday.
Good morning.
I like that, Friday. That's
Good morning.
awesome. So we have had a full week, everyone.
Yes.
So I want to introduce the Friday Squad to the Good Morning Show family. If you have not tuned in before, this may be your first time seeing the Good Morning Show. Welcome. This is your place of faith in the morning. We are a faith-based, inspirational talk show, morning show, whatever you want to call us. And I'm so grateful to have these powerful, wonderful, faith-filled people tuning in, joining me every single Friday. So we've got Rio Winfrey of Rio Fitness. Give it up for Rio.
Hello, happy Friday, everybody.
How you doing this morning, Rio?
Doing great. It's always good to see your faces. Shout out to the audience as well. But yeah, Rio Winfrey here, model, actor, and owner of Rio Fitness. So let's
Come
get
on,
fit.
Rio Fitness.
Go ahead, Rio.
I like the pictures you've been posting lately. I saw your mask. What does the mask say?
Oh, that one was the Maya Angelou quote, "And Still I Rise."
Oh, I loved it. I was like, okay, check out my homie with his pose
Shout out
on.
to Moving Michelle. You can check her out on Instagram. So I ordered that from her. She sent me a couple of others, but very inspirational.
Yeah, that was dope.
That is awesome. Oh. And we have with us Kristen Rogers. She's Kristen, the wellness coach Rogers, in the house. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. There's lots of things happening in the world and in my life. So but yeah, God's good. How about that?
But there's not a lot going on your wall anymore. I see that, right?
She's in her CIA location.
Yeah.
I know. It looks like it really does look like I'm in some sort of quarantine.
You're in your CIA.
Detention center kind of stuff.
She said detention center.
It does. It looks like I should be shackled or something. I don't know.
Nothing on the wall.
Nothing on the wall.
Yeah.
But you're preparing for some things. So what's the next step?
Yeah. So on Sunday, I officially pack everything and I go to my mom's house and then I leave to go to the UK. This past week, I don't know if we're talking about what happened this past week or not.
Sure. I read it, but that was great.
Yeah. So I initially intended to land in the UK, potentially quarantine for 14 days and then go to Rome. But the UK the EU, which is 26 different territories, said, you know what, Americans, you haven't been really great about COVID. And actually, you've been probably one of the worst. And Florida in particular, you're awful. And they've said, you can't come in. And I don't blame them. So I had needed to shift, and I had a few moments of freak out because what I did was I allowed voices in who were more concerned than and not with kind intention.
Right.
But when you allow the freak out in, you forget that God is moving you towards something. And so for 48 hours, I was like, I don't know, blah, 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 I'm losing money, I'm doing this. But the cool thing is there's two things. One, the fact that I have less money now makes me more dependent on God.
Wow.
Right. Because I had to shift and move. And I mean, $2,000 worth of like shifting, probably lost money, having to move into like London is expensive. I need to quarantine for a month there. And it just is. And so it's like, I could choose to think about, oh my gosh, I'm super vulnerable, which I did. And I freaked out, and that didn't help me. It didn't help my body. It didn't help my mind. But now I'm going to be in the UK for at least a month, maybe more. But then the intention is to go to Rome. If not, I have, again, Croatia. I have Israel. I have Izmir. I have all these different like secondary fun plans to go to. So.
That is so, this journey, and it's a journey physically, you're traveling, but spiritually and in your mind, having to trust God is just a whole nother layer on your journey. Wow. It's really amazing.
And it's the main thing. It's the main thing. It's like, do I trust? You keep saying, do you trust me? And I'm like, I thought I did.
I thought I did. And we want to say good morning to Jodee Vids. Jodee!
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good. We're good.
Happy Friday. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah. You have plans?
Sure. We're gonna plan to be home. I think I'm gonna probably get some fireworks, and my son and I will probably go in the back and
fun.
Because I know there were a lot of places that canceled, rightfully so, the gathering, because we're a hot spot down here in Orlando.
Yeah.
So I try to keep him protected as much as possible as well. So
that's good.
I try to be as responsible. He has his little cat in the hat mask. Yeah, and he loves to wear it if we go out.
Jodee,
yes.
Jodee, since I saw your birthday pictures last week, I think of you now as like Queen Biz.
Oh,
because you have that crown, like you. I don't know if you saw that was the promo picture. It's Queen Biz.
I'm gonna see if I've got one of those photos here, so everyone can.
Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous.
That's why I don't have it on this page. I'm gonna go to Jodee's page and actually pull it up in just a second, because I know she loves us.
Jodee. I
do. It's funny because Candy's like, "What do you? Do you approve this picture?" And I was like, "Whoa, okay, well, sure." I guess you really did like the pictures. So
it was beautiful. It looked amazing.
My alter
ego. Great.
Yeah, you own the whole space. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yes, it was absolutely gorgeous, and we hope that you had a wonderful birthday.
It was a beautiful day. It really was a beautiful day. I was so grateful, overwhelmed by just the presence of everyone wishing me happy birthday. And, I had a really great weekend, and, I appreciated it, and I reached 40. Not a lot of people can say that, So I'm grateful to be here alive, especially during this COVID time. So.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I love that you chose to celebrate, to make it a thing. Right? Like you didn't hide from it. You chose to be like, there you go. Come on. Like, what magazine am I looking at right now? Like, I'm into it. Like,
you can't click it, Candy, because my friend of mine, he screenshotted that home picture and she shared. It's never mind.
No, I was just trying to make it bigger so they could see it closer.
You just gave all the millennials and whatever comes after that goals.
You better work.
Yes.
I'm flattered. Thanks, guys.
Legs for days. She's got guns for days and legs for days. I mean, my goodness.
You know, and I never thought that until when I was taking my photos, my photographer was like, "You got legs," and I was like, "I'm 4'11". There's no such thing. And then when I saw the pictures, I was like, "Dang, okay, you do got legs, girl."
All 4'11 of you.
Today.
There's like 4 feet of the 4'11 are legs.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm short. I have no torso.
Yeah. So beautiful. So I want to say good morning to some folks. If you guys can help me say good morning. We've got Charlie Green. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Sandra!
I'm going to remove that so we don't block Jodee's face here.
Hey,
And Angeline is watching.
Hi, Angeline.
good morning, Angeline.
And if you're watching and you want to start a watch party or you want to share this, go ahead and hit share right now. Am I feeding back? I'm sorry. That probably is me. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit. We've got 3 minutes to chat about what this month has meant so far on the Good Morning Show. We're only 3 days in. And we decided this month we wanted to bring a little hope and healing through the art of music. Through the art of music and dance and anything that really has to do with the arts, because we all have enough on our minds, right? On our plates. There's a lot of negativity going on, and not that we're turning a blind eye to it, because we tackle that too on the show. That's what Town Hall Tuesdays is for, and because we don't want to not say anything about what's going on or not be involved. We want to, as a faith-based community. But this month I thought, man, we really need the fresh wind of God's presence in our lives to renew us, to restore us, to bring healing. And so we had the pleasure of kicking off the month with Mika King. Shout out to Mika King.
It was awesome.
Yeah, she did a medley, a worship medley at the end. You okay, Kristen?
I think
that was so funny. You are on camera. You're live.
I don't know what I wiped up there, but it looked like I don't know. Sorry.
That's quite all right.
We're keeping it real. We're keeping it real.
There. Sorry. I'll be back.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And so we started off with Mika King, and that was powerful. She did her worship medley. I was just so floored that we can do this on a live stream platform like this and have an actual moment where it didn't feel like we were just all looking at Facebook, and then we had my new friends, Hans and his family, Hans Nadam, and he's from Texas. Well, he's from West Africa, and he's here in the States in Texas, and he's a choreographer, but he's also a believer, and it was just so amazing. Sandra said that entire show, mic drop. Oh, not only did Mika preach, she preached, but then she sang. And then we followed that up with our new friend to the show, Hans Nadam, brilliant choreographer. And let's bring Kristen back here. I think we're together now. But, this morning we have amongst us, the Friday Squad, our very own artist. And I put all these titles, and Jodee's like, what are these titles?
I know, like, who is this person? Who are you talking about? Is she coming tomorrow?
She's coming. She's here.
I want to meet her. Oh, excellent.
So Jodee, kick off our Friday. Talk to us about the worship experience and your background in it. When some people don't know, we see your videos and they are hilarious, and we know that you're a shooting star. So we know that while we have you here in our little local Orlando, before you go global, your videos are already global. We want to know a little bit about you. How did you get started in worship and worship music?
Well, I was born under a church pew. I feel. Well, I was born and raised in the church, in a hospital, but the same, basically. And I was born in Jamaica. I was born by a river. I was born in Jamaica. My family moved here when I was very, very small. We've been in Florida ever since. And I think I've been singing on a worship team since I was like 13. So I think you learn the music and the connection to God, I think, over time for me. But I think as you experience being on a worship team, you understand that worship is not a genre, it's an experience.
Ooh, come on.
And you have to experience God in order to worship him. Or you don't even have to experience him to worship him. You can worship him and he becomes that person to you. And then that worship just starts emanating out of your soul. It emanates out of your being. And I think what's most important to me is I've had a very rough week, all full disclosure. My you know, a friend of ours passed this week, and I tell you, I did not feel like worshiping. And you caught me on the other side of the testimony where it's like you just gotta praise God. Listen, I struggled this week, and I might be crying. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay.
The worship within you is what you need to walk through a desert and not die.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's not about a genre. It's about the type of music you listen to. It's about the fact that he is there, he's inside of you, and you know that he is your strength. So it's like, it's sometimes when I think about those times when you want to give up, or those times when you're really going through a hard time, God is there. God is always there, and he is your strength. Even when you want to give up, he's just like, nope, here's this person bringing you a glass of water right now. You know, and for me, also, when I am on the stage, I do give my all physically. I shout, I jump, I'm screaming everything. And a lot of times people come to me and they're like, man, you got a lot of energy up there. What, you know, and I'm just like, that's all real. Like, it's not for sure. Like when I come on, when we go on the stage at our church, and I'm just like, let's go. I'm excited to worship God because I just want to scream and I just want to worship him for who he is at that moment. And then there are times where you just can't seem to find the praise, like for me this week. And but yeah, your question, go back to your question. I've been doing this since I was 16. And you know, one thing I find amazing is he surrounds us with songs of deliverance.
Yeah.
So you may not hear it, but there are moments where songs just comes to you, and it's for your deliverance, for your joy, for wherever it is that God is taking you. He gives us those songs of deliverance. So, you know, we talk about Black Lives Matter, all those songs that came out during the struggle, you know, it kept them, you know what I mean? Everything that, all the songs that came out when Peter, when Paul and Silas were they were in there praising God and giving God praise. Though they were in prison and they were shackled, they were praising God. Okay. So yes, our hope is in God, and he gives us those songs in those times when we have nothing else that we feel that we can give.
That's right.
And that's why it's like, there's no drummer in my living room. There's not a keyboardist. There's not a bassist in there. Ain't nobody
Yes.
in here but me and God. Okay. And in those moments, I got to give God a praise. And when I call up and tell my friend, I'm like, nope, I'm mad at God today and I don't have nothing. And God says, okay, well, I got a fix for that. And somehow he reminds me about my joy that comes from him. You know what I mean? There are certain things that we don't understand in this life. I feel like I'm speaking out of my current week because it's what I'm experiencing, and we have this funeral we have to go to on Sunday, and you got to bear with me because this was a hard hit, you know. And the joy of the Lord is our strength.
Yes.
And we have to remember that. We have to tap into that. We got to know that the garment of praise is for that spirit of heaviness.
That's
so,
right.
And it's funny. It's like when I'm heavy and I start walking around my house and I just start saying, God, you are good. You are amazing. You are the strength of my heart. There is no one like you. You are greater than all things. You are King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You are the omniscient one, omnipotent. You are the creator of everything. You are a healer. And God, we thank you. And he starts lifting us. You know, we don't understand where the strength is. It's not about us. It's not about anything else, but it's about God. And so I start to say some people get hung up in the genre of worship, and it's really not even about that. It's about you.
Woo, that's
how the worship comes out of you. You can start singing a down earth song, and it could be your worship to God in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like being married, you know, your commitment, your love, everything in that relationship that you have is because of what you're given to that other person, you know, and I cannot know God unless I go through the trials that I'm going through and he showed me who he is in the midst of those trials.
Yes.
So that comes, your worship comes out of that. Your worship comes through those moments where I know he's a good God because he's been with me. Even when I wanted to give up, when I ain't want to be here, he was with me, keeping me even still. And sometimes I'm like, well, God, why are you still blessing me? You know, he's good. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to.
Wow, it's great. I love it. I love it.
I ain't mean to.
That was so needed this morning. I want to go to some comments, and then Jodee, if you would usher us in to the very presence of God, we would so be honored that you would sing on the show. So Nancy says, let me move my mic back here. Nancy says, y'all remember that kid worship song? I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. So I had to add that other joy in there, down in my heart to stay. Yes, we do. And now when we say it as adults, it has a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
Down in my heart to stay. Praise takes us to the place of serenity in the midst of praise.
Yes, Angeline. Yes, Angeline.
You said it right.
That's good.
Hi, good morning, Escarlin. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, we love to worship. Yes, Jodee does look fabulous today and every day. She's loving her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Sandra said, hey, Sandra, we're missing one of our members today, our squad member, Sandra Yvonne. He's given us the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness.
Yes, Sandra.
You know, and this week, if you've been impacted by the loss of a loved one, Jodee, our hearts go out to you. And some of us even knew Michelle. And I lost my good friend Katrina. I posted about her a couple weeks ago, and they actually knew each other. And they were both breast cancer survivors. And so
I remember.
You know, and I went to the doctor yesterday, and I'm like, ooh, I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm being vigilant, you know.
And full disclosure, when I was going through my divorce, I remember when I was going through my divorce, everything hurt. Like you could say, oh, I just love apples, and I would just cry. Mm-hmm. I was so broken. But I will say this, my saving grace when I was going through my divorce was that I was at church every Sunday while we're in worship service now. And I was crying my heart out, but I was on my knees and I was crying that part before God. And that, I tell you, no lie, is how I made it through my divorce. That process, it was breaking and I felt it. You could feel that how tender you are when you're going through that. And I tell you what, every Sunday I brought that to church and I was still on the stage, but I'd be on my knees and I'd be crying out to God with no words or nothing how to say. It was just my worship in the moment. In the midst of it.
Candy, do you mind if I just one thing?
Sure.
So Jodee,
your comment.
So like I don't have Jodee's voice, but I have a voice, right? So like I've sung for most of my life. And there's something like you mentioned, the physicality of crying out and like the need to like something breaks open in you. My papa and my dad used to stand and just during worship, you know, Baptist hymnal, and they would stand and they would listen. Right. And I guess there's something to that too, but like, there's something about like, as your voice cries out, I love that you say you get physical with it. Cause like, my old Baptist self would stand like this with the mic like this. Right. And now I'm like, God, you know, just like there's something about the need. So like, as we think about praise, as we think about worship, as we think about, regardless of your voice, there's something that God's doing to come, like to bring out the energy from within, the lives from within, to like pour out your praise, right? Like out of your mouth, whether it's a good voice or not. I mean, Jodee's going to be amazing, but like there's something to the physicality of worship, of singing. And right now, the thing that I noticed, I went to Action Church 2 weeks ago. I hadn't been in a church for however many months, right? Yeah. I could not believe how my spirit opened up because I could sing as loud with communally being led, and how much my body needed it. Right. My body needed it, right? Like my brain, I've praised and I've listened to worship songs, but my body needed the praise. So like, you know, as you watch church on Sunday, online or whatever, encourage, sing it.
Yeah, sing it.
But you know, and Charlie said, he said, crying out creates breakthrough. I can't see the rest of that, but that's such a good statement, because listen, we stand in the presence of a president. We bow in the presence of kings. We do all these things to recognize humans, but we don't and I'm not judging anyone that doesn't do anything else, but I feel like it's automatic within me. You know, whether it's just my response to God is everything. Like I want to shout your praise, because when I'm in praise and worship, I focus on God.
Yeah.
My everything I'm singing about, it's about Him, and so I'm in this zone. You know what I mean? It's not about the song. It's the songs or the band or anything like that. It is about the song, but it's to God. You know what I mean? And that's how I connect. You know what I mean? And so I don't care what people think about me when I'm in worship. You know, it's like when David danced out of his clothes as a king. He didn't care, because I feel like he, in that moment, he felt the need to praise the God that had kept him when he was in the caves and he was running for his life and all these things. It's almost like, man, there's just so much that you can say about praise and worship and how you go through, you know what I'm saying? Like David killed a man for a woman, you know, he was on the run for his life, you know, but look, God still kept him. And still made him king. I'm sorry.
So merciful. Listen, we are going to thoroughly enter into a moment of worship with Jodee here in a second. We are not going to get started until you all who are watching, good morning. Thank you for tuning into the Good Morning Show. I see some of you are on for the first time. Good morning, Kay. I saw you say good morning. I'm so happy that some of you have just tuned in, because you tuned in right on time. But we're not going to get started until you do two things for us. Hit share right now. Start your watch party, or tag someone in the comments. And when you tag them, they'll know about the show and they'll go back and watch it. So hit the share button, tag someone's name, or start typing someone's name and then tag them. And I want to go to a couple comments, and then thank you, Jodee, for ushering us into the presence of God this morning. So Elizabeth said, worship is not a genre, it's an experience. Yes. Good morning, Elizabeth. We had some comments down at the bottom. Let me go. These are the best comments. Good morning, Rich. He said, praise. Amen. And she said, it's not a show or a performance, Sandra says. It's about entering into his presence. And you know, what's really cool about getting this time to have this platform is that I keep telling people, you know, everyone comes to the show who watches. Some may not believe what I believe or what we believe as the Friday Squad. But when you come, I feel like you feel the goodness. You feel the faith and the inspiration and the hope. You feel hope when you come and you watch this. So if you're watching this and you are a believer, but you have friends and family members that are not, that's why we're here. We're here to talk about relevant things that pertain to our lives, but you can't have life without God. You can't have life without your foundation in the one who gave you life. And so I want you all to tag someone, hit the share button, and Jodee, I think we're ready for you. Jodee Vids this morning. Thank you, Jodee.
Oh my God. Are you ready for God?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a little unconventional, okay? When I was driving in my car this week, I was feeling a bit lost because I was mourning my friend. And this wasn't a worship song, but I was driving home from work and all of a sudden this song came to me and it was like, I feel like going on. I feel like going on. Though all trials come, on every hand, I feel like going on. And in that moment, I started to cry, and I was just like, okay, God. And then you stop and you think, great is your mercy toward me, your loving kindness towards me, your tender mercies I see day after day, forever faithful towards me. You're always providing for me. Great is your mercy towards me. Great is your grace. I'm sorry. Just got a little emotional this morning.
Hey.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
God is good. Y'all pray for me, please. He's in our praise. He's in everything that we do. He's in our entire worship. And I'll just end with this song. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. I put my trust in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down, no. And I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. And I'll still bless you. Sorry. Okay. Praise God.
Yes.
I'll still bless you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Amen.
Oh, now your clap emojis this morning, you guys, are not for us or for Jodee. It's for God himself. So go ahead and put those clap emojis in the comment section. We love to see those. Thank you, Sandra. Jodee, thank you for blessing us this morning with that. It was amazing. When you said unconventional, I was like, what's she gonna sing? I was like, but it was there are moments of worship when there's not a big band, there's not, this, lights and fog and all that. Sometimes it's just you in your car with no music and you're thinking through several songs that speak to where you are in your season. And thank God for worship Thank God for worship leaders and musicians and everyone who shares their gift. I know both you and Kristen have sung in worship for many years, and so I thank you both, ladies, for sharing your gift. And thank you, Jodee, for ushering in the presence of God this morning on the Good Morning Show live. Woo! I don't even know where to go from here. I don't know what to say. But that's tough. So
I feel like going on. That's what it is. I feel like going on.
That's right. So I know that sometimes our Friday squad have to hit the road and get started with their day. Rio, are you good on time, or did they give you the day off for 4th of July?
God is working. I'm going to say that. God is working.
Look, I'm off today too.
I'm not going to leave God hanging. This is a great episode.
Listen, I'm off too. I'm over here like,
yeah. I did want to say something, or a couple of things. Just touching on what Jodee was saying earlier. Just, sometimes, I know she wasn't saying like her, sometimes we feel like our faith is tested to a degree. But I always say that, we've all had some dark times. Lord knows I've had mine, but it's in those dark times that God's grace kind of has us see the light as well. Sometimes we go through a little hell to get to heaven. And also it's in those moments of weakness where God empowers us. So as you're going through these things, it's important to know that there is a purpose and we always come out stronger. I know I can look back on my life at this point and say, man, I survived it. I didn't do it alone. I did it with him. That's why my mindset had to change. And we're going to continue to go through things during these times, but keep your faith strong and you will be strong.
Amen. That's good, Rio. That's so good. Kristen, any final thoughts for the morning as we close? I have a couple of announcements, so you guys stay on with me, everyone. I'm going to show a couple graphics here and a couple reminders, but any other closing thoughts, Kristen?
There's this, all I keep thinking is there's this song, Ain't No Grave. Bethel redid it. It used to be a Johnny Cash song. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Sing it. No, sing it.
Okay. Hold on.
Now I'm gonna find it.
All right. I'll give you it's probably gonna be 30 seconds. Is that okay?
No.
You got time? All right.
Yeah.
Woof. There ain't no grave that'll hold this body down.
Yeah.
There ain't no grave that'll hold this body down. Fear is a liar with a smooth and velvet tongue. Fear is a prison, so it's telling me to run. But love is a resurrection, and love is a trumpet sound. Love is my weapon. I'm gonna lay my giants down. There may no grave that'll hold this body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold this body down. That's a tiny bit. It's so much more powerful when you hear Bethel sing it. No joke.
You made Rio spin. That was
I found it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm about to listen to that.
Way up from the ground. That song, if you, Jodee, I was thinking of you, the resurrection. That song came 2 years ago on Easter Sunday, and I lost my entire self.
Okay.
It's gritty. It's gritty, and it's where we are right now. That grit and that emotion, and I'm about to cry just singing that little bit. Thank you, Candy, for thinking also to encourage worship, to encourage lifting our eyes upward.
Yes.
And thank you, Jodee, for pointing us in that direction in praise. Not about our voices, not about down here, but not about what my problem is, but who he is.
Right.
And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you. So also everybody wear your masks. We need to get our COVID down.
So, that was so good, ladies. Thank you, Rio, for adding what you said. I think someone needed to hear that this morning, that they need to keep going, because sometimes when all you see is chaos and hurt and brokenness, right? in whatever season you're in, you feel like there is no going on. You feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But I will tell you, trouble does not last always. We may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We incorporate that, by the way. Joy in the morning.
Candy, that's good. That's good. You just added to that's good, Candy. That's good. Yeah, we talk about giving us songs of deliverance. And that's not just about songs that are written. It's about giving us words that make songs. Like, like what you just said, those things that come out to encourage you in those times. You know what I mean? So it's like, the words that you just used, those are songs. You know what I mean? Like that is your encouragement. He gives us those songs in those times to encourage us and lift us in Jesus' name.
You were coming to church this morning, but you guys came to church this morning. We are the church. We are the people of God. I love it. Okay. So we are going to get ready to close out here. I don't want to go. I totally didn't expect this conversation. None of this was rehearsed. We kind of just jumped on, all of us, late this morning.
And no grave.
Come on.
Jodee, you're going to kill it. Do it.
No grave.
Yes. Come on.
I'm going to listen to that. I need to learn.
Listen, you're going to listen to it. You're going to sing it. I'm going to watch your video when you sing it.
She's going to do a Jodee vid on that one for sure.
Yep.
Please do.
I like Sandra's scripture though. And he has said to me, my grace is sufficient for you.
Yes, Sandra. Yes.
For power is perfected in weakness. Wow. Most gladly, therefore, I would rather boast in my weaknesses so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Because I am weak. And it is only because of the strength of God that I am even here, smiling, sitting, working, being able to do stuff for my son. That's why in worship, it's not about me. It's not about how I sound. It's not about what I did. It's all about God. I am here. I am so ready to worship you, give you everything. And you know what? To go a little deeper, it is those moments when God starts to speak to you. And then, of course, worship goes deeper than you just singing. Worship now goes deeper, goes into your obedience in your life to God. That's a whole nother thing. Now, God says, thank you for your worship today. I appreciate it. I love the way you kneeled. Now, I'd like you to get up and I would like you to go forgive your sister.
Ooh. Come on, Jodee.
And that's where your worship gets a little deeper.
Come on, Jodee.
I love that you said worship, right? Because the obedience isn't about a corrective father, like just trying to keep you in line. He's like, you wanted to come near me. You wanted to come near me. I'm going to show you how to come even farther near, like even closer to me.
Right. That's why worship is not about the genre or the song that people make it into this industry. It's about your experience. So when you worship God, when you have a relationship with God, it's not just about how we react on Sundays at church, but it's how you react to him during the week.
Mm-hmm. Daily.
Yes, that's so good. Listen,
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize at all. I just know that we could probably go on for an hour because we're so passionate about worship. I want to say that I have a little ear candy, Sandra. I didn't know she was going to be on the show today, but because she always comes with a color and I'm always in black, but she's always like, I got my ear candy on. So I have my ear candy for you, Sandra.
I like it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that verse. I think that was a great way for us to close. She said, my grandma could not sing at all, but I reminded her of going in every morning. I'm reminded of her going in every morning at 5 a.m. She would literally make a joyful noise, even though it wasn't.
Listen, I know you're closing, but look, my mama used to do the same thing. Yeah. My mama used to run around the church. People used to laugh at her. And guess what? I turned out to be the same way, and I am not ashamed, okay? I used to be like, oh, Lord, there go my mama again. But my mama would praise God no matter where she was. And we'd be in the car, and she'd yell out, hallelujah. She'd be wild for Christ, but you know what? I'd rather be wild for Christ than wild for some old crazy dude in the streets.
I love it. I love it. You realize like that's right, Jodee.
Got it.
Hey, listen, you
All
guys.
right, I'm not crazy. I'm crazy for Christ.
We have a great lineup. Let me tell you, this is not going to stop. So even though we have to stop this morning, The month is going to be absolutely amazing. We have some people coming that is going to just blow you guys' minds. But on Monday, we have a couple worship leaders. I've invited two beautiful, amazing women who both are worshipers. One has worked with Hillsong, which is really awesome. And these are local ladies, and they're going to be with us on Monday. And so I'll post that graphic soon. Then Tuesday, this is really interesting, you guys. So our last Town Hall Tuesday of June, I had Senator Bracy on. Shout out Senator Bracy if you're watching.
Shout out.
He's doing great work for the city of Ocoee and with his legislation for the Ocoee massacre, but his mom was watching. And she contacted me. She subscribed to Candy Bryan, so you guys see the subscribe down there. And I saw her name pop up, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. She's a supporter. And then we talked a little bit. She has a children's book.
Really?
And it talks about, race and racism and integration in schools. I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to get the book.
I want that book.
But it's for children, and she's going to be my guest on Town Hall Tuesday. We're going to continue Town Hall Tuesday because I think we need to continue the discussion with new guests. So Senator Bracy's mother will be with me on Tuesday. Such a sweet and powerful woman. So, and then the rest of the week is just going to be more powerful worship. So I want to thank you guys. Did you guys enjoy this morning? Let us know in the comments. Did this impact you this morning? The Friday Squad is truly on fire. Rio, we know you got to go before you get in trouble. You okay? I do want to point out there's some important things coming up soon. We all talk about wanting to let our voice be heard and be part of the change, right? So I'm going to share this graphic, and then we're going to wrap here. But there's this amazing young woman. She is an event planner here in the Central Florida area. Her name is Rebecca Lang, and I worked with her during the Miss Corporate America pageant. She's absolutely amazing. But Rebecca's doing Register Your Voice. I thought that was such a great title because registering to vote is lifting your voice. It is part of the change. So Saturday, July 11th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., we will be live, and yours truly will be directing this. Producing and directing this. So again, Saturday, July 11th, 6 p.m., Facebook Live. It's going to be a virtual voter registration drive, and I will be directing it. It's going to be great. And so we're doing this, and Rebecca wanted to do this for her birthday month. She's like, every year for my birthday month, I do like a give back, a fundraiser. And she's like, this year, I want to make sure every young person, every older person, every person knows that they've got to register and they've got to vote. Because now it's more critical than ever. I can't even stress that enough. And that is all I have. We're going to continue to worship throughout the month. I want to say thank you to Jodee Vids, Rio Winfrey, Kristen Rogers. Thank you so much, guys. I really love you. You guys are really my family. You really are.
Thank you for this platform that you open up to everyone to get their message across, or the good message across, or just the information that's necessary. You know what I mean? So that people, thank you so much for what you give. You know, there's purpose in what you're doing, for sure.
Thank you so much, Jodee. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes you got to just go on. So my encouragement to you all today is thank you for tuning in this morning. We hope that we have left you with some hope and with some faith and with an encouragement to keep going, keep pushing. We'll be back 7:45 a.m. Monday. Tell someone about this. Share the show. I love you guys. Until next time, we're going to dance our way out. Is that okay? Bye, guys. Have a great day.